Good morning, everyone. This is Joe Welsh from Core Restaurant Marketing, and I'm here today with Mike Dimmitt from Margin's Edge to talk about ways to help you improve your restaurant profitability. It's going to be a tough year for everyone. We know that, but might as well get started on working on the improvements. Good morning, Mike. How are you today?
Hey, Joe. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Good. Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about your company, what you do, and how you help customers, and who's your ideal customer?
Yeah, 100%. So the name of the company is MarginEdge. We're based down right outside of Washington, D.C. in Northern Virginia. We work with restaurants of all kinds, not limited to a single unit mom and pop shop, not limited to a multi-unit group. We work with franchises. We work with franchisors. Um, any concept, really, whether you're fast casual, full service, fine dining, our ideal customer could be defined as any restaurant or restaurant operator that is looking to gain more timely insights into their bottom line and the money that they are spending. The money going out the back door to all their purveyors, not limited to food and beverage necessarily, but all expenses. And any restaurant operator that ideally is looking for a way to gain these insights without spending more time than they already are on food cost management. Ideally, we're putting more time back in the day of a restaurant operator through streamlining some of these food cost management practices.
Mike, do you find, logically, one might think that the chains have it all going on. They know what they're doing versus the independents. Do you find that to be true, or do you see opportunities in both?
Absolutely, there's opportunities in both, right? And when you think about chains, a lot of the times, and you hear this in many different aspects of the restaurant industry, but people are so important, right? There are a lot of chains out there that may not necessarily give their people, their managers in this case, the tools that they need to perform successfully. I mentioned we work with a lot of franchisees. Many franchisee and chain models, there's no mandate on the systems and the tech systems that they're able to use, right? So although it's a chain that may have an amazing brand, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have food cost management practices streamlined through the use of technology.
Yeah. Now, do you find the independents really need more help, or it's the same problem for everyone?
Yeah, so it depends. The independents, they tend to have a smaller accounting team. The nature of our software, just for more background, is we connect to almost 80 different points of sale system. So we're pulling in your sales data to our system every single night automatically. You don't have to worry about that whatsoever. At the same time, invoices are flowing in through the kitchen door from a produce purveyor, a Cisco, a US Foods, grease trap removal, right? There's all kinds of receipts and invoices. So what our software does is you use our app to take photos of those invoices. Now our software system knows what you sold. It also knows what you purchased, right? When you think about chains and groups, they often have an in-house or an expensive outsourced accounting firm that does all of the bookkeeping. All of the data in our system, sales and purchases, can be exported directly into an accounting system. A lot of the single units and the mom and pops, they're responsible for managing that bookkeeping themselves. So from time to time, you'll see they'll outsource it. At least when I was in restaurant operations, I used to be a partner at a fast casual burger joint down in Arlington, Virginia. And we would often pay a bookkeeper to do that for us. The work was done, but the problem was it was oftentimes a week or two into the next accounting period where those numbers in our QuickBooks, our accounting system, were turned around to us. Whereas if that's the case and your food costs jumped on you, what can you do about it at that point? You're already a week or two into the next accounting system. So the timeliness of how all of these numbers are crunched, whether it's in an Excel spreadsheet or whether it's in QuickBooks, typically you don't have real-time access into your food costs, especially as a mom and pop, because you are outsourcing to a bookkeeper that, or you're doing all of that data entry yourself. So I think the short answer to your question, Joe, is any restaurant could potentially benefit from it. There's accounting teams for these larger groups who absolutely benefit from it because now they don't have to do all the manual data entry. So one way or another, time is getting put back in somebody's day, whether it's the restaurant owner, whether it's the bookkeeper and accountant at a larger group. But yeah, long and short is hopefully we can streamline it for somebody on your team.
In a larger overview, what would you say are the top three problems you solve for restaurants?
Good question. I think, not to sound like a broken record, but the biggest thing is the timeliness when it comes to food cost reporting, right? We provide a profit and loss statement that's updated every single day. It takes us 24 to 48 hours to process invoices. I mentioned sales come through every single night when the restaurant's closed. So you log into our system and you have a profit and loss broken down by all of your food spend categories, all of your expense categories. For most points of sale system, we're even pulling labor punch data. So you have, as a general manager or an owner or a kitchen manager, you have full insight daily into how your operation is performing. Besides that profit and loss statement, it's very easy to track budgets. I always think about my days in operations. I would log into the point of sale system before the restaurant opened, even though I knew it was going to reflect $0. I would log in again after the lunch rush when I had a minute to catch my breath and see how we performed over lunch. I did it again before and after happy hour, and of course, when the restaurant closed. But I didn't have a good way to look at my costs on a daily basis the way that I looked at my point of sale system, right? So because we have both of those pieces of data, you can build budgets in our system and very easily track how you're performing towards your budgets leading up to the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the accounting period. Totally up to you when it comes to those date frames. So budgets, I say, would be the second one, being able to easily track budgets, and for your managers to be able to easily track budgets to know where they could potentially focus their time and energy leading up till the end of that time frame. The third thing, recipe costs. So because we understand everything that you're purchasing, you can build recipes in our system. I can't think of many other industries that exist where the business owner who's selling a product doesn't know what the product costs at the time of the transaction. But that's the industry standard in the restaurant biz. So it's one of those things where it's like you're kind of set up for failure in that regard. Once you build recipes, which is a good business practice just to have those recipes built, oftentimes they live up here in a chef's head, or they're on a Excel document that hasn't been updated in God knows how long. But if you costed out your recipes the week you opened your restaurant, that's great. The very next day after opening day, your recipe costs all change. That's just the nature of the business.
Yeah.
So the fact that you can log into our system and you can see what today it costed you to make every single one of your recipes allows you to take a step back and say, here's my point of sale system. By the way, we're pulling this data in anyway, but a lot of restaurant operators know what's popular off the top of their head, right? They don't necessarily need the point of sale system telling them this is your popular menu item, this isn't. Things. So comparing the profitability of your menu items to the popularity, that's a really good practice to be doing, once a week, at least once a month, so you can make decisions to raise menu prices, change portion sizes. Maybe you find out this particular product that I'm purchasing is seasonal. So next year I can plan for that ahead of time and maybe take it off the menu or tweak the menu the way you need to.
Mike, can you give us an example of a customer that you've worked for or worked with and the kind of results that they saw over time?
Yeah, of course. Wills and Bill's Brewery out in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I'm downtown Philly. Wills and Bill's is out pretty close to the King of Prussia Mall. If anyone watching or listening is familiar with the area,
I know it.
You know it. Yeah. So Wills and Bill's, they're a 3-unit brew pub concept. They implemented our system, and wings are one of their most popular menu items. I think about it, it's a brew pub, right? They're selling a lot of wings. So in their head, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. We love our wings. We sell a ton of them. Once they implemented our system, they realized, based off of the cost of those wings and how they fluctuated over time, they had like a 60% cost on that menu item. On happy hour, they gave them for half price. So for all intents and purposes, even if the kitchen was super efficient and they weren't wasting any product, they're still losing money on wings. And that's one of their most popular menu items, right? So implementing the system, costing out the recipe allowed them to say, we got to raise the menu prices. We have the data now to make the decisions we need to. That's something you have to keep in mind with all software systems. They're not going to run the restaurants for you, obviously. That's still your job as an operator, as an owner, as a manager. But what the system is designed to do is give you information and data in close to real time so you can make decisions to run the business more efficiently.
Okay. Mike, That's a great example, and we all know what's been going on with wings over the past two,
They're
3
all
years.
over the place. They're more volatile than crypto. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I know when I speak to restaurant owners now, the focus seems to be for this year to focus on profitability. So items like you just spoke about are very, very important. And that's a great example. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach you?
Honestly, reach out directly to me. You can shoot me a call, shoot me a text, shoot me an email. Of course, you can always go to our website as well. My direct line, I'll just say it out loud right now, 717-364-0153. Email would be Diminick, and you can see my last name there spelled out for you, MDIMINICK at marginedge.com. Of course, you can always go to our website, ask for more information. That's an easy way to do it. Or Joe, they could always just get in touch with you, and you could supply an introduction that way as well. So whatever's easiest for the restaurant operator, whatever they're comfortable with.
Mike, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you feel would be important for restaurant owners to know?
Yeah, I think it's 2023, right? A long time ago, everyone had a cash register, and then you implemented a little thing that you could swipe a credit card with as a payment processor, but it wasn't a true point of sale system. Now, most restaurant operators have a point of sale system, and they'll never go back to a cash register. Our system, think about it, almost like that, but on the other half of the profit and loss statement, right? You're automating all sales tracking through your POS. Why would you still be doing things manually with paper spreadsheets and Excel spreadsheets, paper invoices, and Excel spreadsheets, when you could automate that entire process, right? I think it won't be long until it becomes pretty industry standard for every restaurant to have a system like this in place, because at the end of the day, the whole point, make your life easier, right? You're a busy restaurant operator wearing a lot of different hats. Let's put more time back in your manager's day so they can focus on the things that you got into the business to do in the first place. Hiring and training staff, developing menu items, executing shifts in the kitchen, interacting with the guests at the bar and in the dining room, right? And let's automate the aspects that were always a pain in the rear end, the manual data entry into a spreadsheet, right? Let us take that up for you so you can use the insights to run more efficiently.
I think that's a very good point, because many restaurants, they've got to wait a certain period of time to get reports back from their accountant.
That's right.
Whereas this is real time, next day, you got it, you see what's going on, and then you can make adjustments quicker.
100%.
I think that's a really good thing. Okay. Well, Mike, I'd like to thank you for your time today. You've been very helpful. And I think our clients, our restaurant customers that are listening to this, will see the value in what you spoke about and can really associate how, yeah, I see that in my life too. And this could help me. So once again, I appreciate your time, and look forward to talking to you again. Okay.
I appreciate that, Joe. Always
All
enjoy
right.
chatting with you.
Bye.
Take care.